Hello, Page Dominators. It's Ryan Perry here with my partner in crime, Michael Mattis. I will get that correct one of these days. I know, I'm sorry. Go ahead and unmute the microphone and properly introduce yourself, since this is our first Google Hangout that we're doing together.
Welcome. I'm so excited to be here. I mean, here is Cabo San Lucas. I'm just happy that you guys are joining us today for our very first webinar, and so many more to come. So this is stuff that's fun and exciting. So thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I want to do before we go and dive into some great information is to kind of briefly explain what the purpose of the Google Hangout, the webinar is, and it's really to give small business owners, if you're that entrepreneur, you're wearing multiple hats, maybe you've got one or two people in your office, but it's really you driving your business. Our goal is to give you information that you can take away from each one of these episodes to improve your visibility and your credibility online.
Absolutely. I mean, you can go and hire some, SEO experts and spend thousands and thousands of dollars, or you can do, some of the stuff yourself and probably make a lot of mistakes that could also potentially cost you thousands of dollars. So, our course is kind of to fill in that gap, maybe to kind of help educate you on some of the things that we're going to be going over to really help, get more clients, make more sales, generate more revenues. I mean, that's the whole purpose of our course, is to be able to help you as a local business owner be found, get results. So once again, thanks for joining us in our first webinar.
All right, perfect. And today we're gonna talk about something that's really simple, very inexpensive, but highly effective, and that is paid advertising on Facebook, and specifically boosting a post. And just to clarify that we're talking about your business page, not your personal page. And whenever you actually do a post on Facebook, there's a little button in the bottom right-hand corner that says boost, and there's an option there to add some marketing dollars. What's really nice about Facebook is they are the least expensive way to market. It's something I use on a regular basis to help my clients gain visibility. So, Michael, why don't you talk a little bit more about Facebook and boosting post?
Yeah, and I want to kind of segue into exactly what you talked about. We're talking about business pages for Facebook. I have this conversation all the time with, business owners. They're like, I don't want to be on Facebook. We get it, but we know that your competition is going to be on Facebook, and we also know, in fact, Ryan, you said this a bunch of times, that it's a proven fact that people search on social media more today than ever before they make a buying purchase. So, what we want to do is we want to kind of educate that process, move you away from, anything personal, and move towards a more business platform. And there's a couple reasons why you want to do that. A, keep your personal page personal, and whenever you're promoting stuff about your business, keep it very business. And that's one of the reasons why Facebook is just a great platform, to have a personal page, to keep, connect with your friends and family, and have a business page so you can do things like boosting, because I agree 100%. I mean, Facebook marketing, Facebook advertising is just a great source and an inexpensive way to reach a highly focused and targeted audience. We're going to have other discussions about paid advertising with Google, but today it's about Facebook, and I love Facebook marketing. I mean, it's so much easier than Google paid advertising. It really is simple. In fact, we're going to show you right now how simple it is. So if it's okay, I'd like to go ahead and show my screen and talk about some of the boosting processes.
Yeah, I always feel that people can learn by watching, so definitely go ahead and pull up that screen share, and let's take a look. And this should look very similar to anybody that's using Facebook now. The other thing, while he's bringing up that page, was just talking to a social media expert earlier this morning, and we were talking about Pinterest and how some people just don't want to use Pinterest in their business because they personally don't. Just because you personally don't use something doesn't mean your audience isn't using it. So, Facebook is definitely, with over, I forget, 50% of the population or something crazy like that's on Facebook. So, all right, you got your page up, Michael.
All right, so as long as you can see my page here, this is one of the pages I manage. Of course, I live in Cabo San Lucas, so we have a page called Cabo Properties. And quickly what I want to do is, again, with the business page, there's so many things you can do. And today we're going to talk about boosting and how easy it is. So just to kind of give you an example, I actually made a boost yesterday on a particular article, and it's a property here in Cabo San Lucas called Grand Samar. And basically, what you'll notice is after you create your listing on Facebook, you see this little icon here in the lower right-hand corner, Boost Post. That's basically all we're going to be doing. But I'm going to take it one step earlier. So this is the one I did yesterday. And if you'll notice, I've got $20 left. What I actually did yesterday is I did a very small campaign of $25. You don't want to go on and spend $1,000. You want to kind of test it first. So I like to test it with, $20, $25, see what kind of response I get, making the adjustments if necessary. If I get a good ROI, then I can simply just crank it up by adding more money to it. So here's to give you an example of how effective Facebook marketing is. On a $25 budget, yesterday, this is just one day, I spent $4.90. I have 3,326 people that have actually reached, and of that I've had 301 actions. 301 actions being, they liked it, they commented, or maybe they shared it. So for $4.90, I mean, this is great. It gives you a really good description of, what type of response you're getting. You can measure the differences. And like other traditional marketing, like mails or phone calls, I mean, there's a lot of things you can't measure. Well, with Facebook, promotion and marketing, you can measure what you're doing, and you can tweak things, as I mentioned earlier. So, here's the actions that we're looking at, and this is reported every single day. You can log in every single time just by looking at your little budget here. You can look at the people that you targeted. So when I set up this campaign, I was going after men and women in a particular location, in a particular age group, and if you notice, just based on this campaign, 35%, or I'm sorry, 91 people were women, 43 people were men between the age of 35 and 44. So these are some of the demographics that Facebook is going to be reporting back to you. So how valuable and how important is it to know who your audience would be? Now, I set this up between 25 and 65. Well, I could have made a huge mistake if I just spent all my time on 25 and 34-year-olds, or if I did a marketing campaign at 55 to 64-year-olds, because I would have missed my sweet spot. Not having to test it first, I could have missed it completely. But because I tested it, I now know my sweet spot is 35 to 44. So if I really want to crank this up, I probably want to put a little bit more attention on this age group right here.
Right. The other thing, I'm going to interrupt you real quickly. The other thing I want to mention about that is that after you run your test and you know what your sweet spot is, you need to go back to the original message and make sure it's relevant to that audience. Is your message relevant to that age group? And it also looks like it's primarily female that are clicking on it, so you want to make sure the message isn't very strong, it's more feminine, so that it relates to them. The better your message relates to your target audience, they're going to click and they're going to go, okay, I like this, and therefore you're going to have a higher conversion.
You know what? Thank you, and you're absolutely right. I mean, I've tested a bunch of photos before. Being a guy in my 40s, I've uploaded 6 images, and there was 3 of them I thought for sure I was going to get the best response because they look really cool. The truth is, the 3 that I really liked were the 3 that was giving me the worst response. So you're right. You want to test it once you identify your target audience. Make sure you edit the images, the age group, and the language so that you are targeting an audience. So a very valid point. And the other thing you can do too is, this is interesting. You can set up locations because I'm doing this page in Cabo San Lucas. My target audience is typically from the United States and Canada. But what I didn't know, what's interesting, is that 78% were actually responding. So 235 based on $4.95 campaign, and only 21% are Canada. Again, I had no idea. This could have been 50-50, but now this is giving me better results to measure. So this is why I love Facebook marketing, because it's just the information that they're able to give to you, and it makes you smarter if you have the data. Once you have the data and you can massage it, it makes you a much smarter marketer. So rather than going and throw money in a blind situation, now you can really focus on an audience that is relevant to what your campaign is about. So this is why I love Facebook marketing. So let me go ahead and get out of that. I also today I put another post up, and I just made it really simple. Who would rather be here instead? I just have a nice little picture, and then I connected this picture to my web page. And one thing that we're going to talk about in our course, Page Domination Marketing Blueprints, we really dive into all these little tricks and tools to drive traffic to your web page and so forth. And this is just one of the things we're doing. But back to boosting. I want to go ahead and, after you upload your image and you put your description here, you'll notice again, right here in the lower right-hand corner, you can actually boost this post. So let me show you how easy this is. Take your little finger here on the mouse and hit click. So what's going to happen is it's going to pull up this, this area that you want to actually target. So I'll give you a couple options here, and then from there, we can test it out. Again, I like to do, a very small campaign until we get the results and then crank it up. So here's some of your choices. You can target people who already like your page. Now, this particular page, I have about 3,000 people in my audience. So if I want to send a campaign out to just my audience, all I got to do is click right here. This is great if you want to stay connected to your people that like your page. And that's one thing that is really, really important is, you want to definitely stay connected because you want some, engagement from your clients. So if I wanted to maybe promote a new listing or maybe a special rental, I probably want to go after the people that have already liked my page. Again, there's almost 3,000 people there, so chances are that 3,000 people, I might be able to sell that little special, occasional rental or whatever it is. However, if you're just getting started and you only have maybe 10, 15, maybe 100 people on your fan page, you probably don't want to do this because you're not reaching a large enough audience. So that's option number A. The other option is, oh, by the way, let me just go back here real quick if you can see my screen. I'm actually going to be targeting on my page here between 1,000 and 1,700 people based on a $20 budget, okay? If I go here, which is people who like your page and their friends, notice how that reach has suddenly went from 1,700 to 8,900 to 22,000, again, based on a $20 budget. And what I'm targeting now is people that like my page and their friends and family who like their page, okay? This particular post, which I think is really, really powerful, is it allows me to reach out to people that have currently not liked my page or don't even know who Cobble Property is in the page that we're talking about today. So I want to go ahead and reach out to people that don't know about Cobble Property. So when you're setting this up, now you're not going to see this because you probably don't have any campaigns. I've already set up 4 campaigns. I want to go ahead and use this campaign. When you set up a campaign, this is where this next step is right here. And then once you set up a campaign, of course, by default, you'll have that option. So basically what I want to do for this particular page I'm managing, I want to go after Canada and United States. I want to go after the interests of people that live in Cabo San Lucas, that visit Cabo San Lucas. Let me get out of here. That visit Cabo San Lucas, that travel to Cabo San Lucas, or have one time or another reference something on Facebook about Cabo San Lucas. Because Facebook is, their algorithms are really, really smart. I mean, really, really smart. If at one point, anytime during my search within Facebook, if I liked a page, if I went to maybe something related to Mexico, maybe a restaurant or something, Facebook is going to know that I like that page and it's going to serve it up in my audience right here. Does that make sense, Ryan?
Yeah, it totally does. The nice thing about Facebook, and just as an FYI, we got about a little bit over a minute, is that they collect copious amounts of information. And so what I really love about boosting on Facebook is that you can really, really target who your audience is. If you have even let's say I don't know, let's say you're a fitness instructor and you notice that a lot of your clients play golf, that would be one of the things, because it's relevant to your client base, that you would want to select as an example is people that play golf. So you can really hone in on who that ideal client is.
Correct. I know we're running out of time here, but what I did is I went from 30 to 65-year-olds living in the United States and Canada, all men and women, and then here's some of the tags I put in here: Cabo San Lucas Airport, Land's End, Los Cabos. These are all things that are relevant to the search. And then you basically just save it, and you go down here at the bottom, and when you're ready to go, you choose how much you want to spend and how many days. So here it's $20, $5 a day for the next 4 days, and that's it. You just go down here and hit boost. So that's basically, hopefully that's enough information, at least get you started. And again, in our course, you really spend a lot of time in Facebook advertising promotion and do it so that you do it the right way and that you're not wasting time and money and resources doing it the wrong way. So thank you. I know we kind of went through this kind of fast, but we're limited time. So Ryan, you have anything else to close us out?
No, I think that's it. The other thing is the one thing you do want to be careful of is that Facebook has a predetermined budget that they throw in there. It could be $20. It could be, I had one client accidentally told me they spent $200 on a boost because they didn't know that they could change the dollar amount. They thought it was predetermined. You can go in there, wipe that out. You can spend $1. My recommendation: spend $5, test it on some different age groups, segment it, and see what the response is, and then make smarter decisions. But you have to track it. And in the Blueprint Marketing course that Michael's talking about, we're going to dive much deeper into how to do all of this so that your return on investment is positive, and that you're not having to reinvent the wheel. Learn from the experts so you don't have to figure it out on yourself.
Excellent. Excellent point. Yep, right on track. So anyways, I appreciate your time, everybody, and stay tuned for our next little video. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you for setting us up today.
All right, definitely, Michael. And everybody, take care. Bye.